Thanks for joining us. I am Daniel Dazi. Now, the passing of broadcaster Kojo Asaribafo Champong KABA this weekend has sent shockwaves across the nation and with Ghanaians in the diaspora. To mark the tragic event, media practitioners, politicians, family members and well-wishers of KABA joined management and staff of Multimedia Group for a memorial service this morning. Patronage by the general public and moving tributes delivered showed proof of the impacts the broadcaster made in his 37 years of life. Here are some scenes from the service.
Yeshia nia akaya boano anopaya ya ye tuntum ene kokko ene se owuo ni yen ani ni yie ya yenu abema ye dofo ye ba ya damfo ye adwuma ye nin ya ye ne no eye adwuma ewo multimedia ha popular program ye nim se owo so eye ekosi sei wo de ne sanyunyu ato no so na no memenda yi ahomadache na owura kwasi twum ne na adwuma yefo efiri memenda asem isiye ye naso etu anambon ahodo na enano pay ne womu ane se ye hia se ye esom a ye kaye som na ye de akai ye nua bema Kojo Asare Bafo e champon enti se ye hia ha no pay a na butaya e de ye hia no ye wogidie ni arehemu se nyame beboa yen ewe ye nua enka ye mu amen.
The choir will lead us to sing Abide With Me. Shall we all be upstanding?
the time that I quarreled with KABA. For his hard moment for Adom TV and the whole multimedia group. Because KABA is a key person to the development of Adom TV. Waking up in the morning is not an easy thing. Even when Adom TV has not gained the status that it has today, KABA sacrificed his sleep to ensure that we are where we are today. There is this Methodist hymn. It's not very popular, but this hymn is one that I sing every time I am sad and depressed and don't know what to do. These are the words. Simply trusting every day.
It is really difficult to forget someone who has given us so much to remember. But I have come to observe that life does not prepare us to lose anyone. Those memories become treasures. And we on Asempa FM, and indeed the whole multimedia family, will continuously and always remember those treasures of Kwadwo Asare for example. Tremasi, Mira Tremasi, Adichi, Nimu Sasa, Nitumitrasi. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, Treyasi, Treyasi, Adichi, Ibu Semsema, Etumitasi, oh yeah, yes, Mama Sema, Treyasi.
Today he is no more, but something I like to share with all of us is that you meet, you interact with, you work with, because you'd never know when they would have to leave. And when they leave, you will be comfortable in your heart, even as he comforts us here at Multimedia.
Efiapokuya Bekasa on behalf of Adom.
Sure what I should say. I thought I've always been strong. So I'm just standing here and it's just hitting me. The KABA is actually not here. From Adom FM. Even before we came to Accra, because we all belong to the Akan platform, we have been very close, working together. In Tema, when Kofi Adoma was on leave, KABA was the one who would come and do the 6 p.m. news.
So when we came to Accra, and we started working together in very close proximity, so it's only natural that we grew closer and closer. For the Adom FM platform, KABA is irreplaceable. Everybody is replaceable. We say it normally in corporate world. That he has created for us. From the smallest technician to the chief executive. Look at us. Look at us. Are we well? No. Look at faces. We console ourselves with the terminology that all is well. It is well. But it is not. The look on all of us, our faces, is an indication that it is impossible for it to be well. We take consolation in the fact that KABA lived.
Moving scenes there this morning, we now take you to the multimedia building where the Book of Condolences has been opened. Sheikh Shaibu Arimeyao, who works with the National Chief Imam, is saying a few words. We understand the Vice President of the Republic, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, has also arrived to sign the Book of Condolences.
Brings with respect to the source of information that we get and also perspectives that it shows. And the sense of humor he exudes, and also the balanced nature with which he asks his questions, and indeed how he's able to contain the pressures that comes from critics, those who want things to go their way and they don't get, how it's difficult for him to express his anger. And all these things are things that are from far away I have admired so much about him. He has ever interviewed me before, but that was such a long time about elections. And so even his face, I could not remember his face very well. But the fact that he plays a certain significant role, and I follow his program, I got affected so much by the information about his death. And just this morning I was watching television, what was going on here. I felt I were here, even during the service, I felt strongly that I could also make a presence here. So on my own behalf, on behalf of the eminent Chief Imam, we want to express our deepest condolences and sympathies to multimedia, the head of the multimedia himself, and all the staff, and indeed all the country who enjoy the beauty of his presentations and how his presentations provided an avenue for us to have a day-to-day, an update of what is happening in our country, not just the facts of the incidents, but even the interpretations that are put on them and the education that it gives. Sometimes matters of constitution that normally we will not even understand. It breaks it down to the local language that you don't need to be a doctor, you don't need to be somebody who's an intellectual to be able to know what is happening in your own country, even in terms of perspectives. What is the other party saying? What is the other party saying? And so it gives you a wide range of perspectives to be able to also inform yourself. I think it is such a good job that he was doing, and we have really lost really a great journalist, and we pray that God himself knows better, and he will give us a replacement that will be able to continue the good works that he's been doing. I think that for now, that's what we can say.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
So you just heard spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Arimeyao, Sheikh Arimeyao, and he's been speaking on behalf of the National Chief Imam and on behalf of the Islamic community, who I'm told were one of the greatest fans of the late broadcaster. He's just going to sign the Book of Condolence, and we are expecting the Vice President in a very short while to grace the premises to also pay his tribute to the fallen hero. Remember, he sent in a tweet on the day of the passing of KABA, consoling the family, consoling the multimedia group. But we understand in a few minutes he will be joining us here to sign the Book of Condolence. And once he arrives here, we'll bring that to viewers right here on Joy News.
Joining us is Komla Adom there, speaking with Sheikh Arimeyao Shaibu, representative of the National Chief Imam. Now, earlier, during the memorial service, Komla spoke to some attendants.
Just about ending now is a memorial service in memory of the late Kwadwo Asariba for Ichampong, better known as KABA. We have representatives of political parties, members of parliament, we have heads of some media institutions, the Despite Group, the EIB Group, and many other individuals from all walks of life have gathered here to celebrate the individual they have rightly described as an extraordinary gentleman. In a short while, we'll be speaking to some members of parliament, representatives of political parties who've made it here to solidarize with the multimedia group, the immediate and distant families of the late broadcaster, and many other individuals, ministers of state, heads of institutions and agencies who have all graced the premises of the multimedia group just to sorrow and mourn with us in these very trying times. Share with us, what are some of the fondest memories you have of the late broadcaster?
On behalf of the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and my personal self and the people of Ghana, I wish to extend my condolences and sympathies to his wife Valentina, child and family. KABA was an affable person. I met him as a women's organizer when I used to come to Bedouin, and he had such a rich laugh. So I used to say to him, KABA, why a year? Then he would say, hey, Adom. And when he was at Ekosisen, they would say, hey, KABA, Emma Kabeyana. No, say Emma Sushagaba, Nidiani Emma KABA. So he had affection for both men and women. He was full of wisdom. And I am so sad that death has stolen this treasure. He's a national treasure of Ghana. At such a young time in his life, all the dreams and expectations, death has robbed us of this jewel. He's an icon. He's a role model. And we will miss him. Filling his shoes will not be easy. And the airwaves will never be the same again. Ghana will be eternally grateful to him, and we ask that may the good Lord give him a peaceful place to rest. The KABA, Ghana Mons.
A member of Parliament for Noctong, Honorable Samuel Okuchetua Blackwai. I'm sure he's had very close encounters with the late broadcaster. He will share with us some of the fondest memories he had of KABA before his unfortunate passing. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes. Unfortunately, this news hit us on Saturday. Many are the messages, the well wishes that have been coming through from a perspective of the NDC and your individual self. What are some of the fondest memories you remember?
I've known KABA for the past decade, I would say, and he's one journalist who goes beyond his professional responsibilities. He reaches out, he checks on you, he wants to be sure you are doing well. Your welfare is his concern. That's the kind of journalist he was. And I recall that times that his producers have tried to reach me and they have not been able to, he will jump into production himself and call me and says, "Oh, it looks like you had a program, but this is very important. We want to talk to you." And the way he would, speak to you and arrange the interview, even if you really were not in the mood, you were not decided to grant an interview to Asempa FM, because of how he approaches the subject, you will just, warm up and then, speak to him. And over time, I became very addicted to his program. I don't miss it when I'm in the country. My brother, I can tell you that this has not been easy for all of us. It's not been easy. He's like a brother to me. And I must say that afternoon radio will never sound the same again. He's exceptionally talented, and the way he comes to his duties, very fair, very balanced, very warm, very affable, very, very affable. It will be difficult to tune into Asempa and not hear him. I mean, that he'll be traumatic. He'll be traumatic, and I wonder if how long I'm going to stay away. Certainly, I'm going to stay away from listening for a while to heal and try to come to terms.
I'll be speaking briefly to Honorable Joseph Yamin. I can see you are in a state of mourning. You are terrified, devastated by this. But what are some of the fondest memories you recall?
Well, a lot of them. I've been on his show a couple of times, and off the show and on the show interactions we've had with him. You will love to come to his program because of the interaction you will have before, during, and after the show. You feel at home. Even when he's being mischievous, it's difficult for you to identify, and you do it as a family. And I think that this loss is so great to the media, and as a brother, as a friend, I can still hold myself in believing that KABA has passed away. It's so sad. May the good Lord keep his soul in perfect peace.
I've been joined by Honorable Tetechai, and I have seen clips of him on Ekosi saying recently when I was surfing the web, so I'm sure he's had very personal relationship with KABA. How did this news strike you, and how are you dealing with it, sir?
Well, it's a very difficult one, yeah, based on my special relationship with KABA. I'm a regular guest on this program, especially on Thursdays, and it came to us as a very big blow, in the sense that KABA was somebody, like him or hate him, he was on top of the issues. Before he comes to the studio, he knows what he's about. And he's the type of person who really wanted to see the politics we do in this country in a very progressive manner. So no matter where you are coming from, the questions that he needs to ask no matter whom you are, you make sure those questions are asked. And I can tell you, by the time those questions have been asked, the public itself will have an informed opinion about the person he's talking to. So whether what you are saying is the truth, whether what you are saying is not the truth, per the questions that he puts before you, the general public themselves will take a decision on the issues. He was a journalist who wanted to be very fair to all the various political parties in the country. At times we go to the studio, we make things very difficult for him. In fact, there are times that you see the eyes red, especially when we put him on the spot. But we did all these things to enhance our democratic culture. And as a result, he enhanced probity, accountability, transparency in governance. And I believe that his passing on is really a big blow to all of us. In fact, I can remember that any time that we come to the studio, we did not only discuss the current issues at stake, but sometimes when we go off air, that is when you have adverts and so on and so forth, we discuss issues that affect the generality of the work that he does. We raise health issues, we raise marital issues. In fact, we were a family.
Thanks to you, sir, for your time. We just had the Honorable Tete Chai, an NDC Member of Parliament, he's been a regular panel on KABA's show, Ekosi, saying on Asempa FM, weekdays from 2 p.m. to about 6:30 p.m. And he's just been sharing some of his final moments with the broadcaster before his passing. So it's all ended here at the forecourt of the Multimedia Group, where a brief memorial was held in memory, of course, to celebrate and mourn, as well as grieve with the family of the late Kwadwo Asare Bafo Achampong, affectionately known as KABA. Politicians across the divide, members of parliament, heads of media industries, media agencies, family, friends, ministers of state, the clergy, were all here to join the multimedia family to mourn this individual. Everybody agrees was a perfect gentleman. And the book of condolence has just been opened here at the forecourt of the Multimedia Group, where people are welcome to come in and then write their few tributes to the memory of the late broadcaster, whose afternoon talk show drew many political figures and made news across the country. From here, I am Komladum for Joy News.
Now, an outpouring of grief greets social media following the unfortunate demise of KABA. Now, members from political and social circles have been eulogizing the late political show host for his sterling journalism career until death snatched him away from his family and friends. A book of condolence has since been opened as the forecourt of the Multimedia Group in his honor. Komla Adum brings us more.
Tributes continue to pour in for the late broadcaster Kwadwo Asare Bafo Achampong, who passed on Saturday, November 18. Beyond being well-mannered, KABA was well known for the ease with which he blends humor with hardcore political talk, as well as his ability to get the big names in Ghana's politics at his table to reveal what hitherto would have been hidden. Since news of his unfortunate death, shockwaves have gone through the political space, with many renowned political figureheads bouncing back words of consolation to the many grieving people, his family, friends, and colleagues in the media fraternity. This, perhaps, is one of the most recent memories of him still lingering on in the minds of many Ghanaians. Even the president, Mr. Akufo-Addo, recalls so vividly.
A very good admirer of yours and a very good supporter of the MPP in London called Gorazo sent me a message that wild nature known about the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, seemed to have fizzled out, and you seem to have been tamed by the presidency. Have you been tamed, Mr. President?
Mr. KABA, a lot of the image of myself that went out was an image painted by my political opponents for their own purposes. And there are people here who are not my political sympathizers, but who are friends of mine who have known me for a long time, who know that there's nothing wild about me.
President Akufo-Addo took to social media to express shock at the demise of the affable Kwadwo Asare-Baffour Acheampong.
Shocked by the news of KABA's death, undoubtedly one of the most talented journalists of his generation, condolences to his wife, family, and the multimedia group.
Shortly after that, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia added,
I have learned with shock the sudden demise of KABA, of Asempa FM, and the multimedia group. May God give his widow, family, and the entire media fraternity the fortitude to bear this painful loss.
This is from former President John Mahama's Facebook page. Since then, many more leading figures and prominent persons have been extending their condolences to his family and colleagues. A former ambassador and former chairman of the National Media Commission, Cabral Blay Amihia, believes a great journalism career has just been snuffed out by death. Imani Africa's Franklin Kudjo also took to social media to express his condolence.
Kwadwo Asare-Baffour Acheampong was undoubtedly one of the very few journalists in Ghana who respected scholarship and had honest regard for the very few independent minds and thinkers in this country. I enjoyed every interview I had with him. Such rare, curious, and lively minds was KABA's. The entire Imani family commiserates with his rather young family, and we know his replacement with family and on radio will be difficult. Rest well, my brother.
I've done this job for some time now, and I've come to realize that consistency is the name of the game. When people realize that you are a bit consistent with what you do, they come to trust you. So I can say that I'm trusted with what I do.
Since the passing of the late Kwadwo Asare-Baffour Acheampong, better known as KABA, and family, friends, staff members, and his close friends are yet to come to terms with this unfortunate piece of information. His numerous followers on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram can simply not come to terms with the passing of the ace broadcaster.
Close friends and colleagues cannot...
It's indeed a difficult moment, particularly for us here at the Multimedia Group. But we'll take a few messages and if you're still watching, join News Desk.